In the previous tutorial, we learned how to create a keyframe-less intro animation, turned it into a template, and add a glow effect. In today's tutorial, we are going to create our outro animation without using any single keyframe, meaning it will be completely dynamic. Let's jump back into the Fusion page to set up our outro animation. We'll grab another transform node and place it right after the glow node. Let's rename this transform node to outro_anim. To animate the outro, we can use the center property. Now you might think we can just right click on the center property and add an animation curve modifier to make it dynamic. But if you look closely, there is no animation curve option here. That's because the center property actually has two parameters, X and Y. Previously, the properties we animated only had a single parameter. So in this case, we need to use a different modifier that supports two values. And that modifier is vector result, because vector result provides two control values, perfectly matching our center property. As usual, you can see the keyframe icon is now active and a modifier has been connected to it. To keep things organized, let's rename this new modifier to outro animation curve. If you move the time scrubber, you will notice that no animation has been added yet. This is different from the last time when using the animation curve modifier, which immediately created animation on the whole timeline. Now take a look at the distance property inside the vector result modifier. If I increase it to a positive value, our image or logo moves to the right side. And if I decrease it to a negative value, it moves to the left side. So we can use this parameter to animate our outro animation. Since distance is a single value parameter, we can easily control it using the animation curve modifier. So right click on the distance property, go to modify with and select animation curve. Now we can dynamically animate this property. Notice that the animation is currently happening across the entire timeline, which is normal, right? We will fix that in a moment. But first, let's rename this new modifier to outro anim curve direction. Let's open up our spline window. If we quickly review our connection setup, we connected a vector result modifier to the center property and named it as outro animation curve. Then, to dynamically animate its distance property, we connected an animation curve modifier and named it outro animation curve direction. As you can see, the new animation has popped up in the spline window. By looking at the curve, you can easily tell the animation is quite linear and is stretching across the entire timeline. To fix this linear movement, we can use the in and out curve setting to add some ease in. And just like that, our outro animation is now much smoother. Now it is time to fix the timing of our outro animation. We want it to stay still for the most of the video and only start right before the clip ends, right? And finishing perfectly at the very end of the video. Just like in the previous part, we'll use the timescale property to adjust the speed and duration of our animation. Then we will use the time offset property to shift the curve to the right side of our timeline. This allows us to define exactly which frame the outro animation begins and exactly where it ends. If you now play the animation, the intro animation starts right at the beginning of the video, it holds in the middle, and the outro kicks in perfectly at the end, finishing exactly as the clip duration runs out. The best part, the entire animation is working perfectly without any single keyframe. Now it is time to export this entire setup as a macro. Select all the nodes together, right click and choose create macro. We have to be very careful in this step to ensure we only expose the necessary parameter for the edit paste to control. Let's select the parameter one by one. From the input image node, select clip name. From the size position node, check size and angle. From the size animation node, select center. Next, from the modifier section, under size position animation curve modifier, select source, curve, in and out curve, scale, offset, time scale, and time offset parameter. From the glow node, check the glow size, Y glow size, and glow parameter. Finally, under our outro animation curve direction modifier, check source, curve, in and out curve, scale, offset, time scale, and time offset parameter. You have already seen me doing this a few times for now. I usually save it as a group and will do that again here. It needs to be saved in a specific location, which is Fusion, Templates, Edit, Titles, and if you prefer, you can create a folder here. I'm just going to replace my original file. Here I could just close the window like before, but if we ever need to export this macro again, we have to manually reselect all those options one by one again. To avoid that hassle, I am saving this tool with a specific name. This is different than the macro export. This way, if we ever open this saved macro file again, all our selected options will be there automatically, saving us from doing the manual setup all over again. So let's jump over to the Edit tab. From here, let's grab our newly exported macro or template and drop it onto the timeline. It looks like all of our parameters are already here. Hopefully, we did not miss anything. Let's test it out by dragging the DaVinci logo on the input image parameter. Okay, the size control is working fine. We can rotate it. Yes. Let's try to change the position. Yes, it is working too. Let's play the video to see if our intro and outro animation are functioning properly. Yes, everything looks great and it is playing super smoothly. Now look at the inspector panel. The scale, offset, time scale, time offset, and curve setting are all stacked together at the very bottom. It looks a bit messy and confusing right now. We will fix this in our upcoming tutorial and reorganize these options into professional categories. Since I know exactly which ones are my outro animation settings, let's change the timescale value to 5 for the outro. Let's see the result. The intro plays fine and now the outro animation goes out much faster, right? Notice that the logo's end position is currently stopping right at the edge of our timeline width. If you want it to travel much further off screen, we just need to increase the scale value and you'll see it is now moving further out. Of course, you can overlay this animation on top of any video you want. You can change the logo's position at any given time. You can scale it down. Basically, you have complete control over everything now. So we'll wrap up today's tutorial right here. In the upcoming tutorial of this series, we'll learn how to professionally rearrange and categorize our macro setting and option to make them look clean and beautiful and effective. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Thank you for staying with me. And as usual, good night.